recently. Every once in a while, we hear on YouTube, we sometimes, we get a bit wrapped up in our own little bubble. Especially on the gaming side. Hang on, Tim, look, whatever do you mean? Well, let me explain. How many times have you heard some of my fellow YouTubers, complain about the likes of, say, IGN or Kotaku, GameSpot, Video Gamer, the list goes on. Basically, any large news-based organisation that's involved in gaming and a little bit of geek culture, but mostly gaming. Everybody's always like, oh, typical IGN, they've paid off, they do this, they do that, they do the other. But I kind of got to thinking, it's sort of like, if I was in IGN, or say, someone like, I don't know, Rich Review Tech USA, or maybe even Wiggy Gaming, any number of YouTubers you want to pick, would it really be that different if they were working for that company? I mean, when you consider it, right, these guys and girls that work for these large news organisations, they have rules and codes of conduct and, quotas, just like you and I do at our jobs. I've got particular ways I'm supposed to treat the customer, particular ways I'm supposed to treat the stock, the way I'm supposed to treat money, yada yada yada. And I have to imagine it's same in games media, You've got NDAs, you've got, relationships with publishers, with other news organisations, you've got to have so many balls in the air. You've got to make sure that your team making the videos are good, your team writing the stories are okay, your presenters are okay, all the staff. I mean, the guys doing visual effects and keeping the place running, the books, the bosses, every tiny facet of one of these, basically press organisations has to be looked after. And when you get down to it, they have to, at a certain level, be involved in their own interest. Because if they didn't, do kind of some of the stuff that the games companies wanted them to do, then the games companies themselves wouldn't invite them to cover their stuff, And if they didn't invite them to cover their stuff, then there would be nobody to do it. And if nobody was there to do it, then we wouldn't have games media. You start to figure this stuff through. I mean, back in the day, we had the magazines, and some of you youngins out there, you'll know of read a games magazine, because why would you? You pay, like $5.50 for a copy of Games Master or whatever, and everything you read in it has happened probably a month ago, if not longer. Whilst you can come here to this YouTube, and sometimes I even manage to get to stuff that before IGN does. The internet moves so much faster and so much more fluidically. So, yeah, the internet is where you're going to tend to go, especially in YouTube, because you don't got to read. You've got, some video guy like me telling you what's been happening, And some guys will put more their spin on things, and some guys won't, You get some people who will be like straight up news, and others who are straight up opinion, and some of us who are like try to mix both. Some guys will be all roar, and other guys will be like, But that's, you pick the channel you want, you try and find the vibe that suits you best and entertains you the most. And, that's customer choice, and that's brilliant for what YouTube does. But when you get right down to it, we, at this level, can't possibly ever compete with the likes of, IGN and GameSpot and Kotaku and Video Gamer and whoever else you want to mention. Okay, I'm sure there are other sites that do this, And there's man, there are bigger YouTubers than me that I can't compete with. You know, like say Pretty Good Gaming. I can't hold the candle to those guys. You know. Their green screen's better than mine for starters. But you know, it's funny when you start to think about it, because we all go, oh, they're paid off by this company, oh, they're paid off by that company. Chances are they're probably not, but they do have to walk a very fine line of telling us what we want to know, whilst not telling us everything that they know, so that they can find out more information in the future. You know, like any other journalist. You know, if you're say like, I don't know, you work for the Financial Times, and you know some guys at like Goldman Sachs. You know, they'll probably tell you, you'll probably get to know lots and lots of stuff, but probably the amount of stuff you can actually report on is like, you know, that's the stuff you know. This is the stuff you could report on. And we've all heard it, like when we've been listening to different IGN podcasts, where it'd be like Beyond or Unlocked, or you know, whatever, like the Fireteam Chat and stuff. There's stuff that those guys will know that they can't talk about, you know, because they're under an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, in case you don't know what that is. So, you know, they're probably doing the best that they possibly can. And then there's like, you know, there's regional restrictions, there's things that you can't do in one country that you can do in another. You know, and there'll be content they can't show, and there'll be, you know. So when you start to actually get drilled down into it and really think about it, kind of lucky to have these companies. Now, yes, they're not perfect, but then neither's this, neither are you. This is not a perfect world, is it? So, in conclusion, maybe IGN is no so bad. I mean, I'm not saying it's great. I'm saying maybe it's just no as bad as some people make it out to be. And let's face it, most of us would really super like to work there, you know? I mean, in almost any capacity, whether it be like video editing or story writing or presenting or whatever, you know? Most of us, you know, even to be in the admin department, would love to be able to say, I work at IGN, I work at Games, I work, you know, work at whatever. You know, to know that at one level or another, you get to know some stuff and you get to experience some things that nobody else gets to do. And the games industry, when you get right down to it, is very small. In the press wing, very small. I mean, how many people do you see on camera from IGN on a regular basis? Well, maybe about a dozen or so. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less. I mean, I don't follow all their shows, you know, but it definitely is food for thought. So that's just that company, and then you've got Video Gamer, which is like made of what, like, it's about 4 or 5 on-screen cast members, and the rest are probably, there's a whole bunch of people who are working in the background. And then, you know, it's like, then you got your medium concerns, you know, guys like Kinda Funny, you know, you got those, you know, those 4 faces that you most of the time see on camera, not excluding Kevin, you know, and they get to know stuff, but not as much stuff as what I know IGN will get to see, because they're smaller, they're less of a concern. Yeah, definitely food for thought, definitely. But, you know, as we're having thoughts, and I like to think I can, you know, a useful conversation here, of course I would love to get your thoughts down below. Yeah, tell me what you think, what you believe to be the reality, because maybe there's something I've not thought about, or, you know, maybe you have a different angle or a different spin. Oh, on a final closing note, some of you may have noticed, or you may be watching it on VidMe. On VidMe at the moment, I'm placing over the last few videos that I've made and all new content till such time as I can get some money together and then actually have some proper editing software, so I don't have to rely on Share Factory and YouTube. Because right now I use the YouTube editing software and of course the Share Factory software to make these videos. Now the only way I think I can ever really ever afford to have proper editing software is basically for you guys to start getting me a few followers on VidMe, and then I can actually, you know, become verified on VidMe, and once I'm verified on VidMe then people can donate. Now I don't want to sound like I'm doing e-begging, but if I can get a little bit of cash together then I can make better content for you guys. And you want better content and I want to make you better content. Seems like a logical step. And also, you know, once I've got that going then YouTube gets stronger and they support each other, VidMe, YouTube, and then also they'll support the Twitch, so the VidMe, YouTube, Twitch sort of triangle will all meld around each other, get a little bit of cash flow going, and then I can, like, you know, maybe get a passport and stuff and get like press passes and go to events properly. Go to events for you guys. It's all food for thought. But no pressure, no dealing. I mean, I'm not going to like chuck a Patreon at you and stuff and go, give me money! But it's just something to think about. Anyway, I'm going to close this out, guys. Catch you in the next one. Whether it be here or VidMe or Twitch or whatever. And of course, as always, please remember to rate, favourite, comment, share, subscribe, and aye, no bother.